Doug.
And I'm Cathy.
And this is Maggie Mae. Join us as we follow the moon. Today, we are going to take you on, for us, a very exciting journey to the top of Pikes Peak near Cascade, Colorado. So come along with us and enjoy the ride.
Thanks.
Now, as we were coming down from the Colorado Springs area, we stopped real quickly at a scenic overlook that has Pikes Peak there in the background, and it's also the U.S. Air Force Academy is there. So we got to watch some parachuting and everything as we were taking our first looks at Pikes Peak. This was our next look at Pikes Peak. It looks like a lot of traffic, but it does move right along. They've got 3 lanes going through there, and they class it as a toll to drive to the top, but that's your only expense in going to the top of Pikes Peak. Just past that entrance, this is the first pullout for the view, and this is the little town of Manitou Springs.
It's a cute little town too.
It sure is. And lets you see some of the scenery that you're going to see. Just a couple miles in, we come to the first site of the actual Pikes Peak. This is also known as the Heart Rock, and you'll see that just beyond that sign.
You kind of have to be really tall to see the heart.
Yeah, definitely. The roads going up Pikes Peak are great. They're nice, wide, so no issues with that. Now this is Crystal Reservoir, and this is, as you come towards it, you're kind of looking down on it. You'll go across the dam, and it's a beautiful area.
You cannot swim in it.
That's right. As pretty as it is, you can't. But I'll bet it's kind of cold too.
Probably.
Now here at the reservoir, there's a little interpretive center. There's some great picnicking area. But the view is just amazing.
Yes, it is. That water was so pretty.
Now if you see these lines along the side of the road, this is where the big Pikes Peak hill climb takes place each year, to see who can get their car to the top fastest. Now this area is called Brown Bush, and it's just beautiful, beautiful scenery. And you can look down there and see the Catamount lakes, both the north and the south. Just a little ways on up, you come to the Glen Cove area, and they've got a little spot there where you can mine for precious rocks. And this is the building there at Glen Cove, and they've got a little cafe in there. They've got any type of Pikes Peak memorabilia you'd ever want.
It does become a little bit of, you're a captive audience.
That's right. Absolutely.
But it's for a good reason.
Now just outside of that, you'll see this little area here. They actually are checking the cars coming down the mountain to make sure their brakes aren't overheating, and if they are, they have you pull off there at Glen Cove to let them cool down. Just after that area is where all the switchbacks are. And you go through quite an area here where you're climbing a lot of altitude in just a short distance.
This is also where all the trees disappear.
That's right. This is where you start to get into the area where you no longer have the grasses and you go into the permafrost. And you do see some snow up there. This is right around the 1st of August, and you do see some snow. Now on one of these switchbacks, we started seeing a lot of cars slowing down. And that's because there was a couple of bighorn sheep along the road. And the more we looked, the more of them we began to see.
That's right.
Of all of the state and national parks we visited this year, let alone driving along the roads with the watch for the bighorn sheep signs, this is the very first place that we've seen them this year.
Yeah.
Now this is a mama who was just losing some of the heavy coat, but that baby was just adorable.
Yes, it was.
So we hung out there along the edge of the road with a lot of other people, taking a look at the bighorn sheep. You can see the people there along the road edge there. And everybody did really good about keeping their distance. And you'd see them wandering along, they'd cross the road, and they, of course, always have the right of way.
That's right. Now, it does get a little bit cooler as you go up the mountain.
Yeah, it was in the upper 80s to low 90s when we left the bottom, and I think it was in the low 60s when we got to the top.
And that upper 80s and low 90s does feel kind of hot.
It does. There you can see some of those switchbacks just down the hill from us. And the higher up you go in the altitude, you can see where the tree line is down there now. And it is pretty steep down there.
Oh, yeah.
But some absolutely spectacular views.
They give you a nice map when you come in.
Yeah, the map is really detailed. It's done by mile marker, as well as other little dots with the letters of the alphabet in it to kind of keep track of where you are. So now we're starting to get on kind of our final approach to the summit. And when you get up there and you look for a parking place, because they are kind of at a premium, you'll see the visitor center. And from the visitor center is a beautiful view, and you'll see what looks like a rail line out there. That's actually the cog railroad that they still run, and you can take that to the top if you don't want to drive. The visitor center is amazing. They have got so much about the history of Pikes Peak throughout the years, how the mountain itself was created. And this is a timeline of all the different things that have happened at Pikes Peak over the years, including when the hill climb started there. They have the obligatory gift shop.
If you didn't bring a jacket, you may want to get one.
That's true. They were selling a lot of hoodies and sweatshirts.
And donuts.
Yeah. They've got a great little cafe here, and you have to get Pikes Peak's famous donuts. They were sugar cinnamon, and they were hot. Yeah.
Yes, they were warm. It was so good.
Now there's one of the cog railway cars. They sure have changed over the years. They're really nice and modern looking now.
Yes, they are.
I believe they said that the rail line coming up is about an hour, and I think it would be a lot of fun to do, but I know everything that we saw on the way up, the cog rail line does not follow the road.
Yeah,
it's its
you
own.
Probably miss a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I believe it leaves from Manitou Springs. Now, this is what remains of the original structure that was at the top. This goes back into the late 1800s, when if you went to the top of Pikes Peak, you either went by horse or by foot. And that little remains of the summit house still stands today. And there's some of the original cog railway as it came in, and then the buses came in.
But the view is really what you come for.
That's right. And they've got some beautiful places to see the view. They really have went out of their way to make it terrific.
And that walkway makes it really nice.
Absolutely. Now, just out there in the distance, you'll see one of the biggest features of the area, and that is the Garden of the Gods.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit too distant for my camera, but Cathy got some nice pictures of it out there in the distance. Same with this. There's a plaque out there, and this plaque is to commemorate Zebulon Pike, who Pikes Peak is named after. Now, we were watching down in the rocks here, and we started seeing something.
I think it's a varmint.
We're kind of thinking maybe a marmot, a yellow-bellied marmot, but if you know for sure, put it in the comments below. We'd sure appreciate knowing. It was big.
Yeah, it would have fed a whole bunch.
Okay, Granny. But just beautiful views. And you go completely around the top of the mountain, so you've got views in every direction. And the day we were there, the skies were gorgeous. There is a marker for the actual summit. It's designated there. You can see the rock with the spike in it. And over on the side by the summit is where you start to see more of the loose boulders. The mountain has a lot of its own characteristics and personality. What a beautiful day.
It sure was.
Well, Cathy, we're at the top of Pikes Peak, right at the Visitor Center. This is to commemorate Catherine Lee Bates, who wrote America the Beautiful in 1893, being inspired by this place. How has it inspired you?
Oh, it's been incredible. I absolutely love this view. So beautiful.
This has really been a great journey. We hope you've enjoyed coming along with us today. If you have, leave us a thumbs up. Watch for the dot up here at the end of the video where you can tap that dot, ring the notification bell, and you'll know when every one of our videos come out.
And thank you for following us as we follow you.